Okay, guys and gals, we can't forget about our gals, Steve.
That's right.
Anyway, today I'm with Steve Alexander. He's actually purchased Summer Breeze, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about. First of all, let's talk about how you found the boat, and then why you fell in love with the boat, and then where your head was at. You know, like looking at the boat, because I posted the video, and then how did you saw it, right?
Right. I saw the video, followed the channel. I've been looking at boats online for almost a year, probably a good 9 months. And we missed on one where we saw it. We got a call in, what I thought was quick enough, but it wasn't quick enough in this market, I think, especially. And so when I saw that this one popped up, I got in touch right away, and then the whole process ensued after that. So,
yeah, I think finding a good quality boat that can be listed is a big thing.
Right. And
then seeing the value, because you're a big guy, so you need to really pay attention. Because, when I'm consulting with people, it's one of the first questions: how tall are you?
Right. I'm 6'3", and I'm 270 more than I ought to be. So yeah.
Well, I think we all got a little extra junk in the trunk, but getting around on one of those, 35. So you said you had your criteria. You said, hey, it's got to be somewhere around that 45-ish range is what you were looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd looked at a few like in the 30, high mid 30s to low 40 foots. And I think where my biggest problem was going to be is engine rooms.
Yeah, the engine rooms get tight in there, and I don't think people, like, you can't even get down the sides of the motors or anything. It gets tight.
Right.
Because on Loop Princess, I was crawling through there. So you saw the boat, you made your phone call, and you were on you came that weekend. So the boat was pretty much first right of refusal. Yep. You jumped in your car, you drove down here, you looked at it. What's your first thoughts of the boat?
Yeah, I mean, so after looking at quite a number of them, what I liked about it was the layout, right? Especially as we consider doing the America's Great Loop.
Oh, nice.
Having the all-around deck access, without having to run through the salon to get here or there, and having a trunk up where you're high and your line handling stuff. So that was kind of the first thing. And then the next thing was not banging my head on the ceilings or the doorways, and being able to kind of get through with my girth a little bit more comfortably.
Yeah, and so you saw the value in that and said, you got to jump.
Right, exactly.
Because this particular boat, I mean, there's boats that'll come on the market, but there's a lot of junk out there. Right. And so then you jump in your car. You and Becky both.
My wife and I, Becky. Yeah, we live between Atlanta and Chattanooga, and it's about a 6-hour drive.
Yeah.
And so we came right down.
Yeah, and then you came, looked at the boat, and then you guys, you and Becky both liked. Did you sleep on it that night, or did you?
I think we did, and then I think I got back in touch the very next morning, and we made a verbal.
Yeah, a verbal, and then we called the buyer, and and to our surprise, we found out that the buyer was quite attached. I think
the owner.
The owner. Yeah, he was quite attached emotionally to the boat still.
Right.
And so it wasn't a totally easygoing thing. It really wasn't.
Right. Yeah. I mean, anytime you have something in your life for that long, and I think they had owned it about 10 years.
Yeah, 10 or 12 years.
And
they didn't need to sell it, obviously.
And they didn't. And they were looking to do some things differently, and so, but it was a tough call for them, and so it was a bit of an emotional roller coaster over those couple of weeks of trying to get the deal finalized.
Yeah, because I don't really want to talk about the money or anything like that,
right.
But it's you made him a what I thought was a fair offer, and he took it right away. I think it caught him off a little bit off surprise. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then working the deal. In part 2 of this, or let's talk about the survey a little bit, because then part 2 we'll see you've bought the boat, and now you own this 40. Because I think there was a little surprise there too of the amenity of, wow, this thing is a 40-year-old trawler, and it does need some love.
Right.
But before we get there, let's talk about the survey real quick, because I thought you were going to be out when the survey came up. I was like, It's over.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe some of my experiences with old cars and old motorcycles, antiques, and not that this is necessarily considered an antique in the boating world, but it has some age, and so there's there's things that are just going to need maintenance and things that aren't going to operate like brand new. And so I've at least had some of that exposure, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, right.
And so it didn't necessarily scare me, when we went through the survey, and there were quite a number of findings. I'd say there were a large number of, smaller things.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah,
And
it was funny going through the survey, like I had to explain to the seller that you had just spent hard-earned money. It was well over $1,000
Right.
to have somebody come out here and go through and not pick his boat apart. That's not what he was doing.
Right.
He was just going over everything, because the owner came up to, I don't know if you know this, he came up to me and says, "My God, he just spent an hour and a half in the engine room. Who spends an hour and a half in the engine room?"
Right.
But he spent an hour and a half just
Right.
taking pictures, writing serial numbers. It takes that much time.
Yeah.
And going really, really thorough.
Yeah.
And, and that's all you're paying for, so you can
Right.
make an informed decision.
Right.
So anyway, the surveyor comes out, and then you get your survey back and everything. And when we went to go pull it out of the water, I thought we lost you. I thought, this is it, but you kept going, so.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few things around. The bottom actually was in really good shape.
It was.
I don't know that there's anything such thing as a blister-free boat unless it's literally brand new.
I haven't seen one. Everybody tells me there's no blisters on the bottom of my boat.
Right.
I've never pulled a
Right.
boat out of the water and
Right.
not seen blisters.
The paint was still a bit serviceable. The zincs are going to need replaced, right? But those are things that
Minor things.
you just have to do.
Right.
There were a few bigger things, but we think we've got the path to get those mitigated fairly easy, like the generator. We're still working through that, and then there was just some maintenance items, lights here and there, AC unit. But
Yeah, that was funny because it was
Yeah.
a brand new. It embarrassed the seller because it was a brand new AC unit.
Right.
He just installed it and it didn't work. And it was the head. It was broken.
Right, just the little control panel. It's just a little digital
But
control
during the
panel.
survey, it was
Right.
not working. It
Right.
affected the value of the boat and everything. So
Yep.
it kind of went down. Do you know what I'm saying? And I was
Right.
like, he's not going to buy this boat. And the owner's out there just busting my chops saying, this isn't going to happen. This isn't going to happen. And I said, but you saw the value because I think you're a 6'3". You know that these don't come on the market. You
Right.
know you have really good running gear in here. Those ZF transmissions are, oh my gosh.
Right, we took it out yesterday, and they're very nice, very smooth, and
Yeah.
even somebody that has limited experience on these bigger boats, I almost couldn't mess them up, right? So,
Yeah, right. Well,
yeah.
we'll talk about that more in step
Exactly,
two because
yeah.
because now I want to finish this video by saying that congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't think you made a mistake, but I think we both were there for a brief second. We'll talk about this in part two when we both just our heads were blown because the list was long.
Yeah.
And going through it, and then me and you trying to get it ready to go up the river because we've got a 500-mile trip. Is it about?
Yeah, about 380, I think, total, something like that. 400.
Oh, is that it's 400 miles up the river.
Yeah.
But the first 200 miles, I want to tell you, is very critical because there's no help.
Right.
So after that, then we'll start seeing help, and we'll be able to do
Right.
more stuff. But that first 200 miles is very, very critical. So
Right.
and you're taking it very seriously, and we'll talk about that in the second part of the video. But anyway, so you guys,
kind of one thing I would like to also interject is on the survey, right? Mosley Marine did our survey, and I was really surprised by the thoroughness. I knew I was paying the money, but when I got the report back, I mean, it's PDF, pictures of everything written up, all the findings. Right, but also just all of the things that were correct and were right, but extensive, right? And it was great because my insurance company really wanted to see that report, and so I kind of sent her a note and I said, "Be careful what you ask for. Here's 80 pages," and so it seemed to satisfy them fine. But I was really impressed with the thoroughness of the report, right?
Yeah, because I think it's important, and it's important to spend that money up front and get that kind of report on the boat, because it gives you your list to start
Right,
on.
I have a punch list. I don't have to now go through it myself as much and try to find all the little things, the gotchas, the
Right.
gremlins, right?
Yeah, right.
And they're going to be those,
Right.
on these, these aged boats. And so now I have a list. In fact, we've already knocked off maybe 10-15% of that list in just
Maybe
the
even
last
20%
yeah,
of it.
in the
we've
last
knocked-
couple of days being here.
And it was simple as twisting a light bulb or something. It really
Yeah.
wasn't that.
Some
we
contact
just
cleaner, some
and
emery cloth, right?
Yeah, it was really minor stuff. There is a couple more major things, but I also think the full value of the boat minus the the seller already budgeted it all in. So he not that you didn't beat him up a little bit, but he was already beat up. Do you know what I'm saying? When you got to him, so
Yeah, I mean, he had kind of had to have the reality check of where the boat is in its life, where the market is. Yeah, you'd love to see this much, but the reality is it's probably going to be more in this.
Yeah,
in
and
this
he was
range.
willing to let it go at that price range.
Yeah, and it was tough. I could tell it was tough for him with the emotional tie, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, I'm glad it all worked out.
me too. Yeah.
And if you guys have any questions, Steve will be happy to talk to you personally.
Yeah.
You got me. I'll coach, but we're gonna get this boat ready, and you're gonna do America's Great Loop in the boat in like the 2024-2025 season, right?
Yeah, we're targeting 2024. We want to get it up near our home where we can spend some time with the vessel. My wife, get more accustomed to, kind of, deck handing and doing some of that, and just get really familiar with the boat.
Yeah.
and know, what little things might pop up. And,
Did you get your Burgee yet?
Practice makes perfect. Not yet.
And you're gonna do the lifetime membership.
Yes.
Yeah, but the reason is because if you're not leaving, I always recommend just do the lifetime up front, because you want to be a part of the organization now and stay with it. And then
Right.
also when you go to sell this boat, it'll create a, we've already started marketing.
Well, and we'll be close to the fall rendezvous. I think it's up around the Huntsville area
Yeah,
every
right.
year, right? And so that's literally, just a day trip for us.
And I've heard this more than one time. That's you and Becky should go to it, because it'll make a difference and convincing her.
Yeah, and of course I did the cost benefit analysis of the lifetime, right? And so about a six and a half year payback over the the 1 year, 3 year rates.
Yeah, you'll get your money though. You really will.
You know
get
how I am, right?
Yeah, but you'll get your money back on fuel savings and discounts at the
absolutely.
marinas.
Yeah.
So it'll pay for itself.
Yeah, and sometimes you can't put a value on the friendships and the relationships that
you
something
can't.
like that brings to the table as well, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, peace out, guys. Remember, live life with no regret. I do. I think you do, Steve.
We do, yes.
Yes. And anyway, I appreciate it. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out. Make sure you leave those comments down below. And, peace out. Thank you, guys. Bye.